What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Sorry about that. I deal with some business issues. How's everyone doing today? Glad to hear that.
Doing good. Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good, sir.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. First things first, Justin Lilly. The next time we have any networking event session, and you want, and I've seen this 4 times, and you want to talk, and I'm talking to someone, don't just leave, just wait so I can talk to you guys. That's what happened last night. I looked around, I was like, where's Justin Lilly? Oh, they disappeared. I'm like, damn it, this happens every time. Do not leave. Just wait and talk to me. I will talk to you guys. I've noticed it 3 to 4 times at this point. So literally just wait for me and I will talk to you. That's the first thing. I just want to throw that out there. Next Thursday, we're having a networking event. It's at Downtown Spaces, a lot of different business people. Obviously, everyone's invited. It's at 7 p.m. There'll be more information thrown out there. That's after the session, obviously. So if you guys are interested in networking and talking and getting to know me, which I realize half the people don't even know came from El Paso, which I thought was kind of funny. That would be great as well, All right, sounds great. So I want to kind of change that format up, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the things of the business world that you're working on and going from there. And one thing I touched on yesterday was the ability to understand the markets and where to go and how to make money off of these markets, and then the ability to understand how your brand can work and make money off of these markets, right? So efficiency is key, right? That's the biggest thing. When I am sitting there and I am talking to you guys and we're recording these studios, what happens is I'm recording on Zoom and I have to understand that I don't have that much time in a day. So what happens is, as I'm trying to build my content in business and myself, because we're all brands, I'm doing this through Zoom because it loads on cloud, and then somebody who works for me can capture it and cut the clips to fit 1 minute into Instagram. But my 1 hour session, they can take the same clip with the same people and take the highlight reels and cut it in. Knowing efficiency is key in business, and understanding that's going to work, especially for everyone here who's trying to do social media and trying to grow their brands. By talking in this manner and going from there, if I'm recording myself, going from there, it goes up online, and I can literally then cut it out and go from pieces. Then I take the same piece of film, and now I'm putting on YouTube. So these sessions go on YouTube as we're talking. I take the same piece of film that I'm doing now, I make my edits, I add in subtitles, and it goes to China. All through one session, right? You see how I did the efficiency and the key? If you're doing a house showing, you should be recording your ability there for two purposes. One, you're showing the house online, right? Because you're physically there. And two, you're showing you as a real estate agent and the ability for you to work with clients. So you're already there, capture the audience. If you're in sales and you're allowed to do this, right? I don't know if you are or not, but, and you're talking to the clients that are there, you're talking to your team, if you can record it and capture and take things that are not company memo only, but bits and parts of pieces, you've actually saved your time to do 2 to 3 things at one time, as opposed to, here's my sales team, here's what we're going to talk about, here's a life lesson, now I'm going to go record on my own. Those inefficiencies is why people can't get content out the way they want to and going from there. Constantly think about the ability to do content and your ability to push it through. Yesterday, we recorded what we talked about. Well, I'm going to cut that and air in different places as well, right? You have to understand the ability to cross-promote and cross-brand yourself, and the ability to do so in an efficient manner without spending a ton of time doing it. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody has a story. What's the story, right? Danny, you're out of town last week. Your story is you have a bunch of photos, but you might have some movies out there or videos. You want to show the happiness because that's your brand with what you're pushing on your brand, right? Video makes it more key than just photos, right? Those are the things that matter. If you look at Instagram and social media, I'll run my metrics for you guys. I get less comments and likes on news articles that I'm actually in than I do on videos or I do on flash and pan stuff, right? So how do I maximize my time and going from there? If I'm doing flash and pan stuff, I'm driving that car and I'm actually wearing that suit on the way to meeting and I'm getting that recorded. I'm taking a photo. The photos, I'm not sitting there modeling. I'm taking the photos right before I go to meetings because I know that my efficient manner is to take those photos so I can put it on later online, and I'm at the meeting, I'm recording it, and now I have 2-3 pieces of content. That's how you maximize your content and the ability to try and do things. That's how you push your guys' individual brands out and your business brands out, by doing things of that matter. That's what matters. Documenting your story, understanding it, but really pushing it out in an efficient manner is not me sitting there every day doing this for hours. I don't do that. I don't have time for that. What I literally do is this is how I do it. And that's what Meltzer does and Gary Vee does. And I've heard this directly from both of them. So I'm telling you what they've told me, and it works. So do that when you're doing your brands and business. If you're buying something like Lily, I realize what you finally do because I saw online the other day and I'm like, this is great. Record this as you're doing it in your interactions and put up, show that you are the housewife of 915, that you are a mother who now has her kids sitting next to her while you're selling your product. That's a story, right? Those are the stories that matter, that make a difference on how you continue into your journey, right? That's extremely important. That helps a lot with what you're trying to do. Does that make sense? So
yes, it does.
So that's one thing I would say is people want to know the journey. They want to document the process, right? They like the highlight reels and you're gonna get the likes, but to really grow a brand development, they see the backgrounds, they see the stress, they see the energy, they see the method to madness going from there. Let me tell you the second thing. Rudy and I went over this yesterday because we had an individual call, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. I know I've talked about adding value, but I'm going to tell you really what adding value means. You all saw the Mark Cuban thing that we're doing and how we put it together, right? But what you haven't seen are some of the other deals that I'm putting together that are just massive, massive deals. Adding value is based on what you need, right? The value that I need right now, as opposed to the value that you think I need. So in sales, everyone's in sales here. What value can you give me that is ultimately going to transcend to money, branding, or networking that's going to get me to the next level? That's the answer. Those are the three concepts. What is your add value, right? For me, and I told this pretty plain to Rudy, right now, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40, well, how many people I'm talking to? We have 100 people lined up to sessions. My value or my lack of value might be because I don't feel that the 70 people, 100 people that are part of these different sessions that I do understand the way to help me out is by pushing downtown spaces, right? You're from El Paso, this is an El Paso thing, pushing it out when you see an ad going online. The people that stand out to me aren't the people that just put, Thursday sessions. It's the ones that help me promote. And in fact, if you actually know, sometimes I'll help you promote if there's a brand out there because I just want to, right? That's the add value. Whether it's one person in your network or 10 people or 30 people in your network, that works. Well, what most people don't understand is when you're doing that, you're showing me and that you care enough to understand what I need and identify, which then opens up doors to other business opportunities. That's how you network. That's how you do it. So when I did the Mark Cuban thing, I was telling you guys the other day, with Mark Cuban and that brand deal that I did, I identified that Mark was very skeptical about esports because he's in it. And Mark Cuban is a billionaire. He knows people in China like everything else. What he didn't get was he didn't have access to the universities. And my pitch to Mark was simple. Let me bring you as a household name to the universities and we'll sell apparel and become a leader in the collegiate esports. For the collegiate esports side, my thing that I told him was, hey, let me give you, the typical rate is 6 to 10% in clothing. That's what you get in percentages, whether you do deals or not. I said, let me give you 33% for your team and donate to the university. They identified something different from Mark. For me, my brand is now associated with Mark, where I close the deal and a university, and now I can utilize this and say, I have now put together a deal and I'm partnered with Mark Cuban in merchandise with several universities in the United States. All I did was identify what they didn't have and how I can put myself into there, right? That is a major method of sales and a major understanding of tactics. What don't you have and how can I identify it and go from there? That's the question. So if you can do that, that's going to make a big difference in the things that you can close and you can't close when it comes to business, because you've literally identified it to a T. Every person has a different want. You have to identify the want. That's how you do your sales and go and make it work. That's the value of it, right? So that's extremely important when you're trying to put things together and really try to maximize your time and maximize your volume and maximize everything else. In fact, one hand feeds the other, because if you have content and you realize that this person needs content and help, my whole thing is, well, why should I just put up every Thursday? Now my next step is bring somebody in. You don't have to post it online. You just call them and they can try out and they can be in session one and we can help improve their lives. That's another add value, right? What you can only add value with the things you know that you have. You can't add value because you're Mark Cuban. You can add value with your network. But the thing is, everybody here has a value that they can add. And I only use me loosely as an example because when you're with me, you're trying to impress, or your best behavior, you guys show up every single week and you're consistent. And the add value is you're trying to learn something from me. But my add value is, have you referenced anyone? Can you refer anyone over? Can you have someone come over and work with us? That's adding value. In fact, Jess, I'll give you specifically, if you brought in people, I'd pay your 6%. Add value. But your intentions aren't to get 6%. Your intentions are to add value. If you have companies that want to consult, and you're like, dude, David can really help you out, and I make, and I'm working with them, I pay you out money because you added value, right? Because I'm not charging you guys, nor do I feel comfortable charging you guys, But you might have a brand that needs to work with me, that absolutely wants to get paid, that absolutely needs my expertise. Therefore, that's how you add value. You add value by the way you can network or by pushing on social media. You can't add value if you don't have it. But what I'm trying to tell you is everybody here has a value to add to it, right? So it's great that you screenshot and you put it up. That's great on every Thursday. But how are you adding additional value to stand out from the crowd? Why am I telling you this? Because that hindrance, what I see from the 7 people that are on this call, and maybe 30 other people that I talk to on a consistent basis, is nobody has added additional value to me. Not saying that you guys are invaluable, but no one's thought in those terms on how to get me to want to work with you. And so I have to spell out pretty plainly. And if you're doing that with me, you're doing that with everybody else. Does that make sense? You're not identifying the extra value that you can add on to it and go from there. Maybe the value is friendship. That could be it too. How do you add value with the things that you have, not the things you don't? When people start losing is they start adding fake value. They buy the fake cars, they overextend on their credit. They try to show off on social media, and then when it comes down to it, they're just empty. Their pockets are empty. That's not the value you add. The value you add is your ability to do things that you currently have. Those are added value things. And maybe it was as plain as I just really had to say it. If you bring on an event, you're adding value. That's going to make me I'm going to be like, oh, well, Danny bought in this event. So Danny, what do you need? Oh, this is what you need? Here's what I'm going to give you. Ace, my photographer, has a free spot downtown. Let me tell you how you added value. I met him through a mutual friend. Ace is from the Herald Post. Ace started shooting things, and we just became friends. And he shot for me for 6 months for free. You know what the add value was? As soon as I had the office, it's a trade. You help me shoot videos and marketing and use the space whenever you want. But if he didn't add that initial value to me, I would have never given him the space to trade. Add value, right? That's the question, is how do you add value? And here's the other part. What you don't realize is when you're promoting certain things and you're adding value into each other in a group, it actually looks like you're with other brands that are working with you, right? Because no one's gonna understand that you're in a mentor session with me. They might not even correlate that I own Downtown Spaces, but the correlation is very, very simple. Oh, you're working with Downtown Spaces. If they look it up, that's another brand. You're adding value, right? Because what do people typically share? Things that they own or if they get paid for it. So how the hell is the general public going to know if you own it, if you're getting paid for it? They don't know, but you're adding that additional value. I mean, there's been so many times where I'll share something with my friends, like, oh, you own the company. I'm like, no, I don't own the company. Just helping my friend share it. That's how you do it. That's how you add value to everything you guys have to do. So think beyond the typical terms now, because the next 6 months, man, I'm going to tell you guys all now, we're going to have to, I predict, unfortunately, that we're going to be along for a ride. And the only way that we're going to survive as a cohesive unit and group is by adding value and sharing everyone's things. That's why I want to do networking events, so people get to know each other. It's not like, hey, let me ask David a question, we call it a day. It's literally, how do we work together to add value and to grow? That's the add value factor that we have to do and go from there. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's at least 10 people, not including the 6 people that are here, that I feel extremely comfortable at this point saying, okay, let's develop and grow, what we're trying to do. And if it's me charging someone, for sessions, because they're not necessarily a big company, you get a chunk of that. That's adding value, because now my added value back is giving you money, but then you can ask me things that most people won't be able to ask because you've added that value. That's how you work angles with people. You can't do it with expectations, like where things start getting pissed off. It's like, oh, I've done this for 4 months. He didn't help me out. Fuck him. Right? But if you understand your intentions of adding value and you think what I just told you, you take that to your boss, you take that to a business partner, you take that to clients. If you identify that, then you've absolutely increased your value with that person. And it works because I've done billion-dollar transactions multiple times. Add value. Add value in a sector that they don't have. And I want to get, I know we talked about this before, but I want to get so specific on what I was saying so that you understood what I meant by that on a very, very clear and definite answer. So I am telling you, this is what I need. Help me. right? The ones that are going to excel are going to be like, hey, I'm going to help you out and push and grow from there. And, hey, I can bring this person in. Is it worth, whatever. Danny, who's taking photo shoots, Lily, who's doing brand products, Jess, who has to do, wants to do a showing. That's how you add value, because you might not be able to go from there, but this is how you identify it. Now think about the current clients you're working with, the people you want to partner with. How are you adding value to them? Why is David Meltzer my partner? Because my value is I know everybody in Asia. Why is the former CEO of Deloitte a new investor and a partner of mine? Because I know people in esports, I know people in the US. But you see how they're different values, and they depend on the person I'm talking to. Utilize what you have and add that value depending on what you can offer and what you can't offer. That's your value. Maximize that value. That's what's going to make the difference. Are there any questions about what I just said between efficiency and adding value? There are no questions? Okay. I'm glad that you sure you don't want to ask questions other people can learn? Nobody has a question? All right. This is great. Let me tell you something else I noticed about networking events. This is extremely important, and I want to tell you guys this because this is why we do networking events. By now, if you've been in an event, everybody should know everybody and say hi to everyone and go from there. When I watch you guys at networking events, y'all with the same group of people doing the same things, which is fine. That's great. But you don't break out of your comfort zone to talk to other people, which is a hindrance when you're networking and you're doing business. And networking in events is the ability to sit there and talk to everybody there. And your objective should be talking to people that are meaningful and go around the whole entire room and get everyone's business cards, because it's an opportunity to network and do the events. Let me tell you where people fail. The way they dress. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If anybody has seen me in the last two things, I'm always wearing a suit, right? I'm wearing a t-shirt, I'm wearing tennis shoes. For that particular event, you have to understand that every event is different. The number one rule is you can never overdress, you can only underdress. Think about what I said. If you're going to an event and you have no idea how to dress, you can overdress, you can never underdress. If you overdress, you can take this and this piece off. If you underdress, you don't have those pieces to add on. 1. 2, your presentation. Your presentation is key. From your nails, to if you shaved, to if you got a new haircut, to if your shirt is ironed, to if your clothes match, to if your shoes are shined. Those things matter. And if you think about what I told you, when you walk into a room, the person who looks the most razzle-dazzle, they call that peacocking, is a person that people start to gravitate to because they think they're the most important person. They think they're the most important person. The one thing in El Paso they don't teach you is this. In fact, most people don't even own a freaking suit. You have to stand out and invest in this type of stuff because it shows that you are a standout compared to everyone else. You have to stand out. So if anything, you're spending more time when you're networking, looking your absolute best to go from there. Now I'm going to talk about investment pieces. Let me tell you what I mean by that. It's all about the first presentation. You're trying to attract them. It's like dating. It's like going to a bar and you meet people for the first couple of seconds. And I'll just give my hypothetical example. If some girl has her hair up and she's wearing glasses and she's drinking a drink that looks like she had a hell of a day, obviously I wouldn't do that now because I'm engaged, but I would most likely never talk to this person because her output has already told me to F off. Think about what I just said. If you're having a hell of a day as a woman, you're not wearing the same clothes and the same patterns that you would do if you're having a good time. Think about what I just said. Men, you will not approach that person as well. If they're not looking like they're ready to mingle, they're just sitting there ready to just drink and be with their friends. That is a sales tactic, right? That's me already telling you in a space to F off, or that's me telling you in a space, I'm ready to talk to you. That concept is the same concept with networking, right? You look around the room, you identify people, and you don't know who's who, but you can identify head to toe on how they're acting, what they're going from there. So when I mentioned to you one time in one of my sessions, I said, first time I went to a big business meeting, this guy recognized my friend had a manicure. And at that point I was 26, I was like, what the hell's a manicure? And I realized that that was important because people are watching. Think about how subconsciously you guys watch things when you're talking to people, how you're identifying what they wear. A person who's over exorbitant and wearing nothing but LV, you're gonna think they're a joke or a rap artist, one of the two, right? But I'll tell you what the touches were. If you've ever seen me pull it up, I wear my suits, they're all custom. They make a big difference in the way it looks. I always get compliments on my shoes. My shoes are pretty much shined and clean as I can possibly get them. That's a sales tactic because people look at your shoes. And if you're wearing a full suit, you don't shine your shoes or your shoes are busted, they know that you're struggling. Number two, your business card. Do you have a business card? Oh, well, it's 2020. That's great. The problem with networking is you don't know who you're dealing with and who's older, who's not older. So even in my business card, my case is an LV case because people identify with Louis Vuitton. My pen that I use, if I'm trying to sign deals, I'm there, is a Mont Blanc pen that I had to invest in. These are called investment pieces. And if you don't have that much money, these are the things that people subconsciously look at that show that you're successful. Because who the hell else buys a $1,000 pen to sign a deal? Obviously, you must be successful. They're 1 or 2 ticket piece items. They're not items that you put constantly on social media. They're not items that people will see. They're items that you wear or you identify when you're at certain meetings that show your successfulness. That's what matters. And other items that matter, right? The phone. If you look at my case is an LV Supreme case. My typical case isn't even that case. But when I'm at networking events, I always have that particular case because as I'm holding up my phone, people are looking at it. My watch, the watch, I know everyone's noticed my watch. That's a $50,000 watch. And the reason I have that watch isn't to tell you it's a $50,000 watch. It's because that is a success piece. I could be wearing Jordans, but I got a $50,000 watch on my hands with diamonds. You're gonna notice it, right? So with you, it might be one used piece of jewelry that stands out. That's how you peacock. That's how you stand out. When you put these things together, your belts, the belt you wear doesn't have, broken loops because they're so old. And, I buy my shirt from Amazon, and I got my shoes ordered from Amazon, and I buy my belt. I don't care what belt it is. I mean, depending on what the event is, that's those subtle pieces that add value to it. And everybody does it when they go out, or they used to go out, or they're trying to talk to their friends, or they're trying to talk to people. You peacock to have people identify you in that crowd. Do you guys not do that? Do you not have attention pieces? No different in business. It's the same thing in business. So the fact that you do that is a reason that you have to identify with the crowd. It's different, right? If I'm going to an esports gaming event, I never wear a suit. I'm wearing skinny jeans, Jordans, a hoodie. But my big piece is still the different watches that I have. That's my set apart piece, right? Think about how you subconsciously look at people and you're looking at them, and how you subconsciously analyze them from head to toe. You're looking to see if they have a ring. You're looking to see what size the ring is. You're looking to see what they're wearing. You're looking to see if they identify what kind of phone they have. And now think about the people you turn away that you write off immediately because of the way they're presenting themselves. Is that not true? That's how you identify and work on the difference with everybody based on the presentation of what they have. And so when you're doing these events and these sales, if you want to command a room, you must command the room by wearing things that can command the room as opposed to blending in the room. Does that make sense? that's how you network and move forward from those different events. That's what values, and that's the value that you can bring on to other people. Are there any particular questions about this? You guys had to have questions while I'm asking this part. All right, John, hit it.
So question on mine, because we talk a lot about don't ever overestimate where you are, right? But it's important to stand out. So what would you say? Because I would feel like I'm still nowhere. I wouldn't want to give off, once again, that vibe that I'm trying to act like someone I'm not. But I do care a lot about being able to present myself and showing like I want to go for the ride. I'm trying to better myself, and I want to one day be there. What would be a good place to start as far as these investment pieces?
Your business card holder probably the first one.
Okay.
Or watch, right?
Now, card holder, would it be more for like my brand or like the business that I represent right now, like who I currently work for?
Business card holder is, you use your business cards, but the case that it comes out of mine is LV. You can buy a used piece for 150, dollars. You see what I'm saying? It's the actual card holder that the card's going in. These are subtle pieces that identify that will stand out and go from there. My wallet is a Christian Louboutin neon green wallet. Is it because I like neon green? Yeah, kind of, but it's because it stands out when I pull out my wallet, right? What the difference is, head to toe, is, again, someone who's dressing head to toe in LV and looking like a rapper, but then driving in their Honda. Nothing against Honda, but it just doesn't match, right? But it's one or two pieces that you can identify based on it. Think of it as collecting, right? Don't think of it, you have to buy it now. The stress thing is you're collecting these pieces to enhance your own brand for these particular events. You're standing out. That's how you do it. So business card will probably be the first one. And then the second one could be, then a pair of watch and a decent watch, and going from there. That matters. If you're a female, one nice, decent purse that stands out. Your shoes matter. The way that you're doing your hair, the way your dress is, how you're wearing your dress. If you're coming in and you're flaunting your boobs in a networking event, that's awful. If anything, that makes me not want to talk to you, right? You have to know how to do it and identify what the audience is, right? You're not going to wear the same thing to a networking event or a business meeting that you would wear to a nightclub, right? How many times have you guys adjusted your own pieces to fit the narrative of the place that you're going to? Same thing with networking, same thing with events. How to make that adjustment is going to be pivotal in how you're going to impress people and talk to them and go from there. Does that make more sense, John?
Yes, sir. Definitely does.
Awesome. Jess, you have a question? Oh.
I don't have a question, but I suck at networking. I've never had to network in all my life. So I'm really grateful that you're having these events, because it's really awesome. I've had little chances of meeting different people that I never would have met before. And I don't know. I think that's really cool. As far as adding value, I do not have that many friends, but I can volunteer my time, and I can, if you need drinks or anything.
No. My point wasn't for you to, for me specifically. If you want to help out, that's fine. My point is identifying the value that everybody needs help. So Mark Cuban needs help in the esports stuff. That was my point. So I apologize if I didn't make that clear, the former CEO of Deloitte China, he needs help because he wants to get into esports. It's identifying the help with the things that you have, right? So if yours is, I have a couple of friends and I want to go and help out and bring a couple of friends, it's fine. If it's the same group of friends that show up, that's still 5-6 people that showed up. That's still 5-6 people that are sharing. You see what I'm saying? That's a value. That's an add value. It's not you going out there and making 100 friends. This is in high school. You're not trying to be miss popularity over here. You're just trying to identify what you can with the sources that you have. But you want to help me out, that's great. But my whole point of the story was someone like me can use help. And that's why I talked about Mark Cuban and the former CEO of Deloitte China, because we're identifying what they need to help and we're finalizing how to put the deals together. And you can do that in a network setting or in a general business setting.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understood. I just meant like that would be how I could help, or
Well, no, you help a lot, but you already do in your own way. So So I want to tell you that. I want to thank you for that. But I just want you to know, like, that's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Lily, do you have a question?
Yeah, like my thing is I hate approaching people. I feel like I'm being nosy or like coming into somebody's space. Like I don't know, I just have a really bad time like approaching anybody. Like it just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know how to just, I guess feel comfortable with approaching people without feeling like I'm intruding on their space or something. Or being awkward. I feel like I'm really awkward.
Well, first off, you're not very awkward, just so you know. That's the first thing. The second thing I will tell you this. In a networking event, if you want to identify who to talk to, look for the person who's looking around trying to talk to someone. Think about that. Think about the times that you're looking around looking to talk to somebody, right? That's people you talk to first because they're looking to engage with somebody, looking to talk to someone. You just go up and talk to them. As you do that they're already lowering their barrier to say, hey, come talk to me, come network with me, let's talk. And then the next step is then going to other people and then going into a group of people to then identify what you have. We have to start at the very, very beginning. So if you show up next Thursday at that networking event that's there, look around to see who's there. Or if you want to start at your first comfort level, go talk to the people that are in the sessions. If Danny ends up going there, go talk to Danny first. Get to know each other. It's a confidence builder. It's step by step by step. And then eventually just be like me, I'll just go talk to everybody, right? But it didn't happen overnight. It took me years to develop this. You have to realize I was more shy than you guys were at 25, 26, 27. It was me forced into a situation where I didn't have a choice. And the thing is, there's nothing awkward to talk about. If they're here to network at downtown spaces, the first thing you talk about is, how'd you hear about the event? I heard from so-and-so. Oh, I know that person, identify. Oh, I'm blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, great. I know so-and-so. Connection, right? They have to either know me or someone in downtown spaces or else it's not going to work. Oh, I know David. Oh, I know David too. How do you know David? Oh, I'm in his mentor session. Oh, great. How's that? Oh, let me tell you about how it is. You're talking about something that's already there. Well, what do you do for a living? Oh, this is what I do. You have to realize that most initial conversations to get people interested, this is going to sound so shitty, but I'm going to tell you guys the truth. It's got to be 70-30. 70 of them talking their ears off, 30 of you talking your ears off. Because then they're going to say, wow, that was a really great conversation. And that's how you identify people. That is a scientifically proven Harvard fact, what I just told you. Proven Harvard fact. 70-30. Ask them questions. Let them ask you questions. Identify how to lead the question to what you want to talk about. What do you do for a living? That's what I do. Oh, okay. You're in sales. That's great. What do you sell? Tell you what they sold. They'll be like, oh, that was really great. You asked me questions. But if you identify going from there first or looking at people around the room, that's how you network and that's how you start identifying. And then slowly but surely you'll build your confidence up to have no problem talking to anybody. So I'm going to see that next week if you show up. You'll be fine. You have to, you're like, you can breathe, you're fine, you're not awkward, you can talk to people. And honestly, it's a great skill set because for business, when customers walk up to you or you're meeting new customers, how intimidating is that? You know that the only thing you're doing is trying to make a sell. And you guys do this every single day in your guys' industries with no correlation, no connection. You know the only purpose is to make a sell and you have to go talk to these people and you still do it anyways. So this should be a piece of cake because you can't adjust that narrative, right? You can't. Someone comes up and they're trying to buy the cups, they're just trying to buy your cups. You can't adjust the narrative, right? Or if Rudy's trying to sell Spectrum, he wears a Spectrum shirt, he's obviously trying to sell Spectrum. So you guys have already done it. It's very easy. You already know how to do it. What I'm trying to tell you is it should be much more easier because now you can control the narrative and talk to who you want to talk to and how you want to talk to them. Does that make sense? And you'll be fine. Danny, do you have a question?
No, more of just like a statement because it kind of really stuck to me when you're talking about ACE and like doing like, you guys, he was basically doing like a work trade for you now. And I really just want to emphasize like the value of that, you guys, is just amazing, because I kind of still do it to this day with, if it's going to be like a potential client, or if I know like it could turn into a really good sale, is offering your value, offering your skills to people, even if it's for like free for an hour or whatever. Like, you really don't know what can lead from that. And like, don't ever be like, oh my God, like it's just gonna be for free, it's not gonna be worth it, because you never know that, I mean, they may end up hiring you for like a year contract or something like that. So I really do see the value in doing like a work trade, or kind of like figuring something out in the beginning, because it really can lead to good deals in the end. I don't know, I wanted to say that.
No, you're absolutely right, Danny. Some of my best deals have come from how I can add value to you first.
Mhm.
And then look, if I tell everyone on my resume, which what I used to do, I would intimidate people so bad they wouldn't do business with me, because they were intimidating, or they were afraid I was going to replace their jobs, or I was going to be the consultant that was going to replace them. So what I started doing was I stopped doing that, and I started adding value to identify what they needed. That's all I talked about. Now, when I start realizing I do other things, or I start looking me up, I didn't know you do that. That's actually a better surprise. So to Danny's point, you don't know what the add value is. You don't know why I'm talking to you. You have no idea. And that's with everything and anyone, right? I mean, there are things in my head that I'm already running through in scenarios that could happen, but they all start from adding value in the beginning, or else there's no value at all. So to Danny's point, that's absolutely true. Rudy, do you have a question?
Can you hear me? Can you
I
hear
can
me,
hear you
guys?
now. Yes.
All right. Sorry about that. I know that we talked yesterday, so I know that a lot of what you talked about today was what we talked about yesterday. But just about the adding value portion, I'd like to see if there's ways that we can collaborate more with each other as far as the members in the Pandanomics Sessions, the other mentees. So if it's okay with you, if I could organize some kind of, some kind of collaboration with the different people participating in this calls to see how we can all work together in different projects and here locally in El Paso.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine with me. That's the whole purpose. I think the first part is everyone should be everyone's friend on Instagram, and when someone posts, you should literally comment on everyone's post. I mean, that's an add value. If John put up a post and he likes it and you make a comment on it, and Daisy puts up a post, that's adding value, right? You do it because of the algorithm, but more importantly, it shows that people are there, right? That's an add of value. There's 7 of you guys. There's 10 of you guys. There's 20 of you guys. Now, if 10 people saw it in the algorithm, that's 10 more comments that help your algorithm. That therefore, it now gives you more exposure to people that are there. That's how you add the value, right? So that in itself, what Rudy said, is absolutely possible and indicative of trying to work together. That's why I say the things you can do, that's an example of things you can do. At this point, 14 weeks together, I mean, geez, you guys should be having each other's cell numbers and bouncing ideas off each other at this point, right? That's the add value. That's why people network. Daisy, do you have a question?
No, I do not.
I wonder what Daisy's doing right now. I always talk about you, about your commitment.
Why?
I love your commitment, man. Every time I make you do a video, you're doing something crazy, and I'm just like, oh man, she's committed. But you see what I'm saying? That's an add value, like the ability to kind of do things. Everyone's added value at one point or the other to me, but now it's adding consistent value to everybody else and being your own support system, because everyone here is thinking the same way now, right? You're not going to screw each other over, because then if I find out, I'll kick somebody off, right? It's the adding value part of it. So now there's an accountability. There's 7 of you guys. I mean, commit to doing that. Commit to working together. Who knows what comes out of it, right? There's the add value part of it. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. So if there's nothing else, if there's no more questions, we're done for today. If there are any more, everything's the same time every week, same call in. If there's new people, there's a session before. All they got to do is sign up, have them add, you know, if you want to add that value, go from there. But that's it. I mean, I don't have anything else to add unless you guys have questions.
Just for next week. So are we having like the call there at Downtown Spaces too, or like we still tune into the call and then it's the event right after?
I mean, if next week is there, I don't have a problem you guys showing up if you're into networking, and you can just sit in front of me like we did a week before, and I'll just talk to people online while I'm talking to you guys, and we just go to the event. That's fine with me too. So whatever's easier for you guys. Right, Rudy, see you later. But yeah, that's how I would do it. Bring other people to the event. RSVP, I mean, there's a max, right? There's only 40 that can show up at any given time. Bring in people that are going to add value to the networking situation, or there will be value added to them. Remember, the people you bring are a representation of you. So if someone's a douche, don't bring them. But that's a general rule anywhere. Like there's certain people that you bring to go to clubs and bars because they can hype it up, and there's certain people that you bring on trips because there's fun, and certain people you take to government dinners because they know how to, you know, represent themselves, and there's certain people you don't bring anywhere besides the barbecue because, you know, they can only handle themselves, right? Because they're representing, and it's quote unquote embarrassing, right? So you have to be very you have to, you know, think about that networking thing and what's going to happen, how you can add value and go from there. And that works like that. All right, guys, thanks for your time. As usual, we'll see you guys next week. And if you have anything else, you know, let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk to you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank
Bye.
you.